Hey everyone, I hope you're having a really good weekend. I wanted to make a video on how to collect data from your backtesting sessions and basically what you can do with it. And some of you could even use data like this to improve your psychology. And I'm going to get to that. Now, these were all 30-second and 15-second entries. I backtested them on my Windows, and for whatever reason, my MacBook will not rewind back that far. So I just went to the 1 minute to get the data, which is totally fine. This isn't about how to trade or any of that. This is just how to basically take your backtesting data, analyze it, and turn it into something useful. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, definitely do. And yeah, before we get going here, I just want to mention I did delete a lot of the supplies and demands on here because it was just too much. This is 2 weeks worth of back testing on gold. I would say probably about 85% of the trades on here are stuff I would execute in a live market. I did try some shady stuff just to see if it would work because I'm still testing some theories as well. And I think I tried about 8 trades that I wouldn't have tried in a live market. And they basically ended up breaking even or losing. None of them ended up working. So it was good to get that data as well. So if you're wondering why we took 45 trades in 2 weeks, that's why. And we also tested London and New York together. Um, Being that this is a back testing session, I do take a few more trades than I ever would in a live market. But anyways, let's get to it here. So this is the first London, New York session here. I ended up going a little trigger heavy in the beginning, and the only reason I want to show you this section is one of the data points I got is I had a total of 11 break evens throughout these 2 weeks, and 8 of those break evens actually all made it to 3R. The majority of these trades were only shooting for 5R. There was a couple that I closed out at 3 and 4R because the stops were too big or they were too high or too low in the leg. And I think I went for like 1 6R. I didn't go for any really big trades. That's not what this was about. Anyway, let's uh, let's scroll through a little more. I think there was a day or two where I didn't trade too much. We had a lot of ranging PA for the last 2 weeks, so that's why I wanted to test that. So there's another break even that went 2R. Here I was on the wrong side of things completely, took 2 losses there. Two more break evens that went 3R, so that's 6R right there. Uh, scored a 5R, break even, never tagged me. Here we just took a 3R because my stop was too big. Landed another 5R, a couple more 5Rs there. No tags on these. 3 losses here, bad reaction, I didn't execute that. Got a 5R. Now you can see here, loss, and just one win, and I'm still in profit. I do have all the numbers added up that I'm going to break down for you guys. So this is kind of how I backtest and collect data. I write down how many R's, and then I've also been testing in a range to see if it's worthwhile with going for 3Rs or maybe even taking heavy partials at 3Rs. I'm going to be running another backtesting session here, either on NASDAQ or GU later today, and I'll gather data on that too. These 2 weeks were important to me because there wasn't a lot of good PA. It was a lot of ranging action. So it's kind of what I'm trying to gather data on right now. Let's see. So again, no execution here. The momentum candle was too big. The way by the time it reacted, it was too big. I didn't want to cover that big of a stop. The idea was right. Some of these are market execution. Some of these are limits. Had I set a limit on this one, it would have been a 5R as well. I also saved myself quite a few losses by looking for market executions and not looking for limits. So this is just basically how I put the data in. I wait till I'm done the back testing session and then I go add it all up. Now, if you see my little execution tools like that, but there's no little blue toolbar, simple reason is it didn't react properly, so we never went for it. So as you can see, more break evens here and more break evens that went 3R. All right, so this is at the end of 2 weeks. So this is the analysis that I got back. 45 trades were executed, 21 wins, 13 losses, 11 break evens. 8 of these break evens actually went 3R, and I ended up giving 24R back to the market, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. Um, the total the total wins was added up to 97R after we take the 13 losses off. I was left with about 84R. Now, if we count commissions on all these break evens and a little bit of slippage here and there, let's even say you're left with 80R or 78, 79, somewhere in there, depending who your broker is. For those of you guys that run Blueberry markets or IC markets and you pay $7 a lot, you know. But being this is gold, I guess the commissions wouldn't be too bad anyway. Now, this is the other data I want to talk about. So it says 47% win rate. That is the amount of wins I got out of 45 trades. So 21 out of 45 is 47% win rate. In reality, a break even is a win to me. It's risk managed, so my hit rate was quite a bit higher, but just not to overinflate my own ego. This is the actual win rate, 47%. Now, here's the interesting data. I told you guys that the majority of these trades were 5Rs, and I think there was a couple threes and fours, and I think one or two 6Rs. If I had hard TP'd everything at 3R, I would have had 29 wins instead of 21, and I would have been left with 74R instead of 84R, which is less money. However, a lot of people struggle with psychology issues and they don't handle losses and break evens that well. So going for a smaller, realistic target might be a way better solution for you. You could see we went from a 47% win rate to a 64% win rate. For some of you, that may mean way better headspace. You feel better overall. You're consistently bringing in cash. It might be the solution to all your problems. The higher R's you go for, the lower the win rate you go for. So if you go and you start doing stuff, let's say minimum 8R or minimum 10R, this win rate's going to drop drastically to, maybe 30%, maybe below. All depends what you're looking for. So you should take this information that I took and run a backtesting session like this. This is only 45 trades. I'm going to go do another 2 weeks of GU and hopefully, get 50, 55 trades out of London and New York combined. And then I'll have data of being in a range over 100 trades. And then I'm going to go analyze NASDAQ and Euro USD, which is all my four pairs I traded. And I just want to see how this data all matches up. Now, when the markets are trending really good over, hopefully over the next couple weeks, I'm going to revisit and I'm going to reanalyze all this data again. And depending how it comes back, I may, right now, I don't take partials till 5R or I hard TP at 5R, depending where we are. Um, if I find that the data says I do better taking partials at 3R, then that's what I'll do. For those of you guys that are having trouble winning trades, maybe just go for 3R hard TPs. Like you will have a 20% higher hit rate. And I have logged this data before on other pairs multiple times through multiple different back testing sessions, and every time it comes back with a higher hit rate. At the end of the day, some days it actually ends up being more money. Today it didn't on gold particularly, but sometimes going for less Rs actually makes me more than going for more Rs. Like I said, this wasn't the case this time, but collect this data, trade it across a ranging market, across a market that's moving and actually trending well, and just compare the data, and that'll tell you what you need to work on. Now, a couple of my losses here that I did take, I was going off really good pricing. I wasn't waiting for a higher time frame chalk. I went for like a second demand break and a second supply break on the 32nd just to see if it would hold true. And I don't think I got a single one of them to go. And that just further backs my evidence that higher time frame is king, and that if higher time frame is not backing your trades, you should just sit on your hands. And this week I only took 6 trades over 3 days. And yes, I missed quite a few winners not forcing trades, but I missed a lot more losers than winners. So that's kind of my data. Anyways, I hope you're all having a good weekend and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in.